customer walks in, the first thing they always notice is the paper wall. And what we do is we explain to them that this is all the paper in their organization, and it's just hidden. It's all over. It's on desktops, it's in filing cabinets, it's on in trays, out trays, things like that. And so what we want to do is just convey to them that each one of these sheets of paper has a cost associated with it, both hard cost and soft cost. And so our job is to come in to them and unveil those costs, get them to understand what those costs are, and then propose a way for us to help them lower those costs. And again, it's not just a maintenance on a copier, it's everything that goes into that. And so that it can sometimes be a little bit of a gray area for them because they're not used to it. It's something out of the norm. But that's what our job is, and so that's what the paper roll symbolizes. All the offices have that. This is the green room. So green is a very big buzzword now, obviously, in a lot of these deals. A lot of companies, especially larger companies, are starting to have positions that are associated with corporate sustainability. And so we have our green room here, and on this side is just kind of the fun facts. 227,000 stacks of toner, as tall as a Sears tower, each year is what goes into landfills for toner. 45% of paper ends up in the trash, 40% of IT calls are print related, things of that nature. So these are just kind of the fun facts for green associated with printing. On this side, kind of talks about how through our analysis and what we can bring to the table with Managed Print, we can help lower those costs. And again, kind of tying it back to the paper wall, it's not just how much we can sell you toner for. There's a lot of other costs associated with printing, and whenever we save them money, there's a lot of ways you can go green too. You can do just as kind of some, for examples, 25% reduction in cartridges going to landfills because we have recycling programs in place and things like that. So just gets the customers thinking a lot more broadly than can I go to Office Depot and buy toner for $5 cheaper. So this is the green room. We also have a nice brochure that we have for them as well that we give them with all of these fun facts on it. The wires, the cabling coming from the ceiling, these are all live cables. All of our gear is plugged into them. This is just kind of like the paper wall. It's meant to represent, if you take away the walls in an organization, the information has to travel somehow. So this is just how we represent that information traveling. Next, we walk them down here, and then obviously the conference room here. Those are some of the cities where our other offices are. Dallas, Fort Worth, New York, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, DC, and I forget the one on the end. I need to brush up on my geography. But those are both Imagenet and our sister companies, Inventus and some of the other companies that we have. Next on the tour is the timeline. So we really want the customers to understand kind of who we are as a company and where we've come from. So give them a brief history of the company. So started in 1956 as a typewriter repair company. As we were expanding that business, we bought a company that sold copiers. Copier was the new technology of the time, and one of the things our company always does that you'll notice is grasp onto the new technology. We want to be ahead of the curve, not behind it. So analog copiers at the time was the big new technology. So that part of our business took off and really kind of formed what we are today. In '94 was the next big change, the digital multifunction device. So that was a big deal. And then '98, the digital multifunction device, but you could now fax from it and do color. So one thing we point out is from 56 to 79, you went from typewriters to copiers. From 79, 25 years it took you to get to a digital device. And now the gap between the timelines are shrinking and shrinking and shrinking as technology advances more quickly. In 2002 is when the scanning came along. So this is kind of one of those things whenever we expanded the typewriter business and got the copiers, this we knew was really going to evolutionize our industry and really change the way everybody thought about it. Right here, this is what we call our status quo room. It is, you walk into 98% of the companies in America and they all have a room like this. And the reason we call it a status quo room is because they all have a copier, a scanner, a fax machine, a printer, and a whole bunch of filing cabinets, right? It's just how business has been done for so many years. And we always point out is why have you been doing it like this? Well, it's just because you've been doing it for so long. So even though since 2002, the technology's been there to combine all this, bring it all into one digital workflow, companies are still operating like it's 1998, right? Now what we've done is, for us, these are actually all empty, just kind of a storage cabinet, if you will. Our company embraces everything that we sell. As far as document management, Management, and things like that, we go paperless in as many areas as we can. Sales order process, expense reports, things like that. In Oklahoma City, if you ever get to go up there and visit that office, we have 4 ladies running the accounting department for basically a $90 million company, right? And it's all paperless. You go on their desk and there's just nothing there. It's all dual monitors. So we really try to practice what we preach in that regard. And internally, because we do that, we feel confident going to other customers and talking to them about it because we see the savings that it's brought us internally, especially in this economy. 2003 is kind of when the document management software came on. There's been software out since the 80s, but with the scanning, this is where it really started to integrate properly. Obviously the integration piece from there. And then today, what we do is we preach the work simplified office. So you have the copiers, you have the printers, you have the scanners. You know, how can we simplify all that where you bring it under one roof? Give you a paperless office if that's what you want. Just give you an office where you can manage everything better if that's what you want as well. Up here, you'll notice at the top all the companies. Some of these have since been consolidated. The ones we always want to point out, though, are Imagenet Capital. So we fund and hold all of our leasing notes internally throughout the entire lease, which is a big deal to a lot of our customers because a lot of times they have to work with a third-party leasing company, which can just be a huge pain. Wholesale business machines, so we essentially have our own refurbished unit. So a lot of startup companies who don't have a lot of initial capital can get a used machine or previously enjoyed, as we like to say. What were some of the other ones up here? Digital media. That's the wide format group. So you can just see what we like to tell customers so they understand what we can do is we handle everything that has to do with paper except selling you paper. Pretty simple. Coming down this way, this is kind of the sales pit, if you will. We have some customer testimonials here. One thing that they all have in common is they all talk about service. So we absolutely pride ourselves on service. That is the one thing that keeps this business going. If we provide poor service for our customers, they cancel service contracts, we lose money and we go out of business. It's really simple, so we have to keep them happy as far as service is concerned. Next we'll come back and show you all of this stuff back here. So this is our service area and toner closet back there. So this is where the service techs can come and work on machines if they need to, set up devices, get it ready for deployments and things like that. We like to do as much of it as we can here to take away some of the clutter on site from the customer's office. Back here is our warehouse. There we go. And just your normal parts warehouse, but what we like to do is bring the customers back here, again, just to kind of show them that we practice what we preach, especially as far as the green effort is concerned. This area here is where we do all of our toner recycling. So we put toner recycle boxes at a customer site, and they call us and we'll actually come pick that up and recycle it. We'll give them as many recycle boxes as they want for other things, aluminum, paper, plastics, things like that. But we'll actually handle the recycle and disposal of the toner cartridges for them. Another thing we did was, because we're a paperless company, we started shredding all of our old documents, and instead of getting styrofoam for packaging and things like that, we actually use that. So it's one of those things, internally it's a cost saver, and it's also better for the environment. You can just see the normal storage stuff of the cannons and things like that. So back here we have our styrofoam melting machine, if you will. So all of these copiers and things like that in these boxes have a ton of styrofoam. So what we do what we do is we get all the styrofoam from all of our offices and bring it here. As a for example, our office in Oklahoma City was emptying their dumpster twice a day, 5 days a week. Huge cost, a lot of stuff going to landfills. So how do we change that? Well, we got this handy little machine here. What you do, you put styrofoam in, it melts it out the side here, and it compacts it into this. So it is basically, right? So you can see how hard it is. It compacts it down, it takes all the air and moisture and things like that out of it. So we bring all this in. A company out of Houston, I believe, we ship this down to them. They reuse it for insulation in new homes and things like that. So again, environmental impact is all this stuff isn't going to dumpsters. Internally, I think Oklahoma City now empties their dumpster once, maybe twice a week. So from 2 days, 5 times, or 2 times a day, 5 days a week, to once, maybe twice a week. So, and that effect is the same throughout all of our offices. So again, kind of the green pitch there that yes, it's good for the environment, but it can also help business too. So, and that is the tour.